I have made no secret of my admiration and excitement for Astral Chain coming later this year for Nintendo Switch. The Treehouse showed a ton of information, and with E3 being so busy, I kind of felt like this game kind of went under the radar. Now, those of us that are excited for it are clearly very, very excited. I think this is going to be phenomenal. From the makers of Bayonetta and Nier Automata, yes, I absolutely want this game. But for those of you that maybe aren't hip to what is going on in the world of Astral Chain, I thought I'd bring you 6 awesome reasons why you should be excited for Astral Chain. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, maybe even hit that notification bell because it helps us out a ton. But with that said, we have a lot of Astral Chain to talk about, so let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I want to talk about here is the gameplay variety. The game starts off with this awesome motorcycle sequence where you shoot enemies and do crazy jumps. Now, this isn't typically how I would expect an action game to begin, but the fact that you're on the motorcycle like right off the bat sets a very cool pace. They do make note in the Treehouse that this does allow them to do some exposition and tell you a little bit about the world and things of that nature, but before you know it, you jump in and you are going to have your legion, and your legions in this game are those things that you see tied to the chain that help you during battle. They are awesome. There are different legions in the game, and each one of them offers completely different gameplay styles. You have an axe, you have a sword, you have a bow, and there's more, but all of those each have their own individual gameplay elements, and you can use them for puzzles as well as other things. We've heard that the game is somewhere in between Bayonetta and Nier Automata as far as speed goes, but the one thing that really stands out to me is that how different this is. When you have been making successful action games like that for a while, you probably just keep doing more of the same, but this one does seem like it's doing a lot different, and I really appreciate that. The gameplay seems fast and fluid. Some of the combos look really cool. If you see an expert play like we did see in the Treehouse, when the director of the game fought some boss fights, he's changing in between legions oh so quickly, and it is a sight to behold. I am going to be chasing those S rankings in these cases for a long time. Using your legion to go around an enemy and get chains all around him so he is subdued in order for you to use your most potent attacks possible seems like a really cool time to me. This next one is a little bit weird, but I'm being honest when I say that this is intriguing to me. There are hidden toilets on a lot of these stages, all the stages, and if you find them all, something good will happen. We don't know what that something good is, we weren't really told, and I can't really think of too much, but finding all of them is now going to be my mission. While I'm playing the game, sometimes sitting on a toilet, I will go find toilets in game. It gets kind of meta, but I can't wait to see what this thing is, because that's a very weird way to put it. Something good will happen? Huh. What do you guys think? Could it be a secret legion of some kind? Could it be an awesome outfit? Because we know there are outfits in the game. We will have to wait and see, but regardless, I am going to make this happen. The third thing we're going to talk about here is kind of what sets this apart from the games that it sort of emulates with Bayonetta and Nier, and that is the detective elements of the game. This really reminds me of some of the Batman detective stuff that we've seen in the Arkham games, and here we start investigating a scene to see what happens, and then we get like a projection of what could have happened. Then we have to follow the trail and look for the Chimera. In this game, the Chimera are the enemies that did this. So yes, they really lead into this detective stuff pretty decently. On top of that, they're not called chapters, they're called case files. So that is another little thing there to just give you an indication that these detective elements are really cool, because obviously you play as a cop. It shows you that you are a special cop on special forces. We see this giant handprint here, and it tells us that there is something big that caused this, and it's our job to find it. As you can see, after that, it is up to us to follow these Chimera tracks and find the source of this disruption and take care of it. Other people can't even see the legion, only you can, because you have this iris item that allows you to see things, and you have the bond with the legion that other characters don't. That is part of you being a cop on these special forces who doesn't want a little bit of Batman detective work mixed in with their Bayonetta gameplay. Speaking of the Chimera, let's talk about a couple of the cool boss fights we see. First up, we see this like giant ape looking enemy that rolls into our vicinity and then just starts wrecking stuff. Now, this is right after that detective section where we saw that giant handprint and we figured, hey, maybe this is it. Maybe this is what caused that and this is how we stop it. It turns out that that isn't even the right chimera, so there is something way bigger than this. But here you are seeing the scale of how these boss fights can get. Also, if you do make note, we can wrap him up and then just go at him. All right, any white number that you see as far as damage is normal. Any yellow number that you see is critical damage. You do critical damage by attacking from behind, and God, this is like so cool. Evading as much as you can, doing perfect blocks, perfect timing, using your Legion to its full potential, and then just going to town. And for it to not even be the chimera that you were looking for originally is awesome. All right, so one more boss fight that I wanted to show you here, even though this one here is pretty epic, is even bigger. Okay, God, if you thought that last ape looking thing was big, this thing is maybe what made that handprint over there. He has insane beams coming out of his face. We have to just keep on switching from Legion to Legion in order to evade attacks and do as much damage as you possibly can. There is awesome neon and all other types of stuff around the world to make it very visually appealing. You have these obstructions that the enemy keeps throwing at you that you have to like wrap up and get rid of. If not, you are going to take massive damage. A lot going on in this boss fight. The only way to do critical here is by sending your Legion, unless of course he does like fall down and you're able to hit his head, because his head is his weak point. God, so much to talk about with these boss fights. And the awesome thing is that we've seen like one more aside from this one, and that one is a small boss fight, so there's also good variety to those themselves. A lot of creativity in the design. These things look atrocious and downright horrible, if I'm being honest, but you also see a good example of the difficulty of the game and just how tough this can be. What you're seeing right now is the actual like director of the game playing it himself, so it's just so crazy. I can't wait to see just how many are in the game, and if they can keep up what we've seen here, I'm sure it's going to be an amazing time. Now that we've seen and talked about insane fast-paced action, detective work, and a beautiful world that is being destroyed by monsters, let's talk about one other thing: cleaning and picking up garbage and throwing it away. Because in this game, cleaning up, picking up trash gets you extra points, which I'm assuming is experience. They call them points during the treehouse, so that's what I'm gonna call them. But yeah, the more cans, I've only seen cans, I don't know if there's other types of garbage that you pick up in the world, the more points you get. So it does give you incentive to be a good person. We should all clean as much as we possibly can. We only have one world. Littering is something that none of us should do, and even in a world where we have giant monsters and all types of other crazy stuff, picking up after yourself is a very good thing to do. This game is teaching us all that. I encourage you guys all to not litter and pick up anything that you may see around you. This was just an awesome little addition in my opinion. The last thing I want to talk about is cool unlocks and skill trees, new abilities and things of the such. An action game isn't very much fun if you're not learning new things along the way. And here you can learn a lot. We're gonna see the skill tree here pop up in a little bit, and you see that there is a lot. And this is only for one of the Legion. Each Legion has its own individual skill tree with different abilities and skills for you to assign. And look, if you think about it, 5 different Legions with all of these skills that you see here, that is a lot of combinations for you guys to go through. We also were told that there is outfits and things like that. Haven't really seen very many of those, but you are going to be able to cater the gameplay to whatever play style you want. If you want to do more damage, be a little bit slower, you could probably do that. Your baton also changes from, you know, a gun to a regular baton to this giant like sword looking thing. Of course, all of them have different attributes. Slower stuff probably does more damage, faster stuff does less damage, but it's just way quicker. You guys know how that usually goes, but the combination of the different skill trees and abilities is going to be something that I am going to be looking forward to in this game, because with all the fantastic gameplay, learning move after move, you're seeing some stuff there in the background. Like, we don't get to see a lot of these in the treehouse and in the footage, but knowing that there is a lot there really makes me excited, and figuring out how I want to play this game and just exactly what speed of things I'm gonna just be used to, really. Yeah, it's an exciting concept. Everyone is probably gonna have a little bit of a different gameplay experience, and I am very excited to get my hands on the full game. But there you have it, a ton of gameplay variety, hidden toilets that you can find for something good happening when you find them all, a bunch of detective elements that kind of remind me of Batman, giant monsters and chimera with super ugly looking beasts that you must take down, cleaning up, saving the environment as best you can, cool unlocks and skill trees, a lot of reasons to be excited for Astral Chain, and I hope this video here made you a little bit excited about Astral Chain. If the game wasn't on your radar, I hope this does bring you a little bit of excitement and anticipation for what is probably one of the games I'm looking forward to the most this year. I think it looks awesome and sweet. I do hope you guys do as well. But I am going to go ahead and sign out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Maybe even hit that notification bell if you choose to subscribe so that you don't miss any of our content. But with that, I am out. You guys are fantastic. SwitchForce out.